This video will demonstrate which two reports are most useful for calculating your year-end taxes. The first report is actually on your homepage when you first log in, and that's the Sales Rollup report. You'll find a Fast button here. You can also find it under Reports tab, Saved Reports, and under the Daily Operations Sales Rollup. Whichever way you click, it'll bring you to the same setup page here. And then from this scene, you can select different devices, regions, or the entire account to run the report for. This is useful if you're paying something like soda taxes. You can eliminate any machine that's not selling soft drinks so that you only get the totals that you need to calculate that tax. From there, you'll simply set your date range. Make sure you change your calendar year using the arrows here, and then just click on the dates you need, setting your start and end date for the calendar year. This section here, the transaction type, is pretty self-explanatory. Cashless payment, cashless no payment. These are your credit cards. They're just listed as different types, but you want to leave both of those selected if you're running it for any of your credit card sales. Cash will be included on that report unless you deselect that box. Depending on how you're doing your taxes, you may or may not need cash on the report. If you don't need cash on the report, it does make it a little easier to go through the numbers by removing it. Down here is the last option. It's the format that this is presented in. There's two that are recommended. Excel, which is selected by default. This is nice because you can save it to your desktop for later use. Or HTML, which opens it as a web page, and that's really more for one-time viewing. The report will be saved for a period of time under recent reports if you need to go back to it, but otherwise, as soon as you navigate away, the information's gone, and as long as you got what information you needed, you're good to go. But we'll work forward from Excel. So if you wanted to save this to your desktop, you don't need to change anything, and then you just run the report. Now this report may take a while to generate as there's a lot of data to pull for a calendar year. You can either click Pick Up Later or go to your recent reports and you'll see that it's pending. And from there, we've already got it run, so I'll go ahead and click View Report. It's going to open the Excel, and once Excel is open, you're going to get this notification. This always happens when a file is sent over to Excel to open up with a file extension listed as a web page. And that's the format that it does come from USA Live. You do want to click Yes, and that will allow that to open. Once it opens, it may open in a protected format. Now, if it's in a protected view, you'll want to click Enable Editing, and that'll be right up here. So just go ahead and click that button, and then it presents it to you in the format that you're used to seeing from your payment reconciliations or other reports that you've run through USA Live. Now, if you need to save it to your desktop, you'll go to File, Save As, and you'll select your location, and you will need to change the file extension. That's the Save As type right here. So as you can see, it says Web Page. We don't want to save it as a web page. We want to change that to Excel Workbook, and then go ahead and click Save once you've got the correct location set. Now, on the report, you can find all the information you need simply by scrolling. All the way to the end will show you your gross totals. So here you go, your gross sales totals, how many VENs, and that'll help you sort out for sales tax, specifically specialty taxes. The other report that you'll run is also under the Reports tab, under Saved Reports, and it's just a couple up from the Sales Rollup. It's called the Payment Reconciliation Report. Now, before you click anything on this screen, you'll want to know that you do need to select the format from this point forward. There's no option once you go in there. If you click the blue hyperlink, it'll run as a web page, which you cannot save to your desktop. So if you need to save this report for later use, it is also recommended to use Excel. So you'd click on the Excel icon, and that will open it in that format. And this report is much easier to run. You simply set the date range that you're looking for, and then click Run Report. And again, that'll take a few minutes to pull together. Once it does, you may get that notification from Excel about the file extension and not being a trusted file. Click Yes, and it will open. If you need to, make sure that you've clicked on the Enable Editing button, and then you can save that to your desktop, just making sure to change the file extension from web page to Excel workbook. Now, the payment reconciliation report, that will include your processing fees as well as your service fees, so you can calculate that into your sales. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any payment data on this report to show you, but the report is similar to the payment detail report that you get on a weekly basis. It's just a compilation of all the payment detail information reports that you would get from the entire year or date range that you've selected. And it will appear in the same format that you're used to, with headers and then the different color separations for each line to make it easier to scan with. So those are the two reports that you can use for your yearly taxes. If you have any questions on those, you can always reach out to us at 888-561-4748, and we'd be happy to walk you through any questions that you might have.